A lot of people have been saying that Venti is no longer useful or has fallen off, and given current content, I would not say that's entirely wrong. Now, I don't think you need Venti, but I want to make some points on why you should consider him. And for me personally, the game would not feel the same without him for exploration, farming, domains, floor 11 leyline. You don't need him, but he makes life so much easier. And I know some people don't want the game to be that easy, so if you're one of those people, then you don't have to listen to this. And in the background, you'll just see me doing ley lines, domains, and other things just to kind of fit the theme of what I'm talking about. Venti's biggest strength is he just absolutely trivializes anything that he can suck in. And his burst is the definition of an instant win button. And your other team members don't even matter too much, because if the enemy can't attack you and they're grouped up so closely, they're just going to melt anyway. Another thing is you don't really need to invest very heavily into him. You can, and you probably should, but you don't need LOG, you don't need stringless. You can just slap on Favonius Warbow and he'd do the job. Any 4-piece VV, like even 4 stars, don't even need stats just so that he can get the effect for your team would be huge. The only real investment, you don't need his talents either, since most of his damage, if you invest in him, will be from swirls. So the only thing you need to invest in would be his level. And I believe it's 10 levels within the enemy level to be able to pull them with max strength. So Venti is definitely a character you want to get a level 90 so you can pull everything. But other than that, he's definitely one of the least... he's one of the highest value per investment characters for sure. If you do build him, all you need to do is slap on EM main stat pieces with 4 VV. Now I say all you need, but that's a lot harder than it is because of the drop rates. But if you can do that, then that's fine. You don't need any crazy subsets either. You just want elemental mastery, ER, enough ER. Around 165%. If you have LOG or Favonius, it's really achievable because he also has the energy recharge ascension. And other than that, attack percent's also good, and you don't need crit at all because most of his damage will come from swirls. Another thing is, he's one of the best C0 characters. You don't need his constellations, especially C1. I think it gives his charged attack an extra arrow or something. It's completely useless, so yeah, you don't need his constellations. He's complete at C0. And some people forget that his Ascension passive refunds 15 energy to himself and all party members when his burst expires. And even though you can't guarantee which element you absorb sometimes, it's still amazing utility in freeze teams. If you run 2 cryo members, you can refund 15 energy to himself and 2 other party members just by having his burst expire. So that's pretty insane. And I sound like a Venti salesman, but because I don't want to sound too biased, I want to touch on some of his downfalls. If we're looking at strictly Abyss 12, the last rotations haven't been favorable for him. And Inazuma in general just hasn't been great, and because a lot of enemies can't be pulled in. And if you can't pull in enemies, it's really painful to aim his burst and have it hit things. And speaking of aiming, the auto aim on his burst can actually be really annoying. Like sometimes it just flies off into the distance, like into the corner, even though you're looking at it in enemy. But yeah. Another thing is, if he isn't pulling everything, then Kazuha and Sucrose are just straight up better options in most scenarios. And I guess that's because Anemo just has so many great options that if you have one or multiple of the others, you don't need Venti. That being said, he's still just as strong in existing content though. Like he's not weaker in domains or ley lines that have already existed or in the overworld, so he's still the MVP in those scenarios, and I'm sure in a future Abyss lineup there will be ones that he excels in and ones that he won't be as good in. And when he works, he's the best. There's no other option. He fills that niche of if they can be sucked, nothing even comes close. Um, Even when he doesn't work, he still brings a decent amount to the table with VV. His personal damage isn't bad, energy refund, but he just won't be as great of an option. So he's still useful, just not optimal. But yeah, I guess I don't know why I decided to write an essay on why you should pull Venti, but I hope this video can provide at least a bit of insight if you're contemplating pulling for Venti or not. So thanks for watching.